All right, welcome in. I'm the Kodiak, and today I'm here to talk about Ricky Pearsall, the San Francisco 49ers first round pick. I was a little surprised that the 49ers took Ricky Pearsall here, mainly because I wasn't expecting to go here because of the team fit and the offensive ecosystem. I didn't think the 49ers were going to add at the wide receiver position, especially because when the NFL is a copycat league and you look at where you failed and trying to improve upon it, in the Super Bowl, you didn't have depth at inside linebacker to make up for Greenlaw getting his ACL torn. And two, the O line just needed a lot of work. And if Purdy has an extra second, he finds Ayuk, and we're probably talking about a completely different conversation this offseason about Kyle Shanahan. Now, with Ricky Pearsall specifically, I get why they did this. And I was a huge Ricky Pearsall fan before the draft. He had a great reception perception profile. He was absolutely incredible at Florida. And while his production at Florida was relatively underwhelming, it's mainly due to the fact that Florida, let's be honest, you look at guys like Anthony Richardson, they are not the best at finding out how to get the most out of their offensive talent. Now, he was the last of the Senior Bowl studs from this year. I know they had Lad McConkey, I know they had Javon Baker and Roman Wilson, who all performed at the Senior Bowl, but Ricky Pearsall made an incredible impact. And he's from Arizona, and he went to ASU after graduating from Corona del Sol. He received a 3-star from ESPN and 247 Sports. So in his first 2 years at Arizona State under Herm Edwards, with that whole Jaden Daniels era that ended up being an absolute failure for Arizona State, Pearsall was not able to make a significant impact with the Sun Devils. And I don't fault him for this. His college production, even as a 4th and 5th year senior, leaves a lot to be desired. But at the same time, there's a lot of things that I can give a pass, mainly because of the fact I think he is that good. He's a very refined route runner. He could get open. He just never really had the offensive, production to back him up. And part of this is due to bad quarterback play. Part of this is due to bad schematics. But we've had guys like Anthony Richardson come into the league and look good. But this Florida team simply has not gotten the best out of their players as of late. And Ricky Pearsall ended his first 2 years at ASU with 17 games, 13 receptions, 214 yards, and 1 touchdown. So as I've already hit on, that's pretty underwhelming production, but I've started to expand my horizons, even though I do believe players analytically still do need to hit certain thresholds to succeed as NFL wide receivers. But during his junior year, Pearsall emerged as a standout player. He played in all 13 games. He led ASU in both receptions and yards. He finished the season with 48 catches for a total of 580 yards and 4 touchdowns. But something interesting, 6 rushing attempts. So after 2021, Pearsall goes to Florida and he plays with Anthony Richardson. He finished the year with 33 catches and 660 yards. Now, 33 catches and 660 yards, that's about, I think that's 20 yards per catch on the dot. That's really, really insane. I don't know if it just means his intermediate game wasn't developed yet, but that is absolutely absurd efficiency. In 2023, though, his last year, he set career highs in receptions, yards, and touchdowns with 65 receptions, 965 yards, and 4 touchdowns. He's a pretty versatile weapon. He's quick off the line. He runs clean routes. He also improved a lot in this area over the 2023 season. He's a very willing blocker, and of course, he has great pass catching ability. He can win at all receiver positions. He's not just some slot guy. Cue the Adam Thielen comparisons. Cue the Ben Skoranek and Julian Edelman and Wes Welker and I don't know, insert white wide receiver here. No, he's not that kind of player. I didn't know if he was going to get drafted high due to the fact that there were so many good wide receivers in this class, but he's the best receiver we've had come out of Florida in a while. So it's cool that he can pass the torch to Wilson immediately at Florida. I'm going to remember a lot of his circus catches. So specifically regarding where he was drafted by the San Francisco 49ers, this symbolizes one thing and one thing only. I think the future for either one of Ayuk or Debo looks pretty grim. And I know that Ayuk is still in contract talks, but if you're going to trade one, it's got to be Debo for the sake of making your, losing less as a football team, because Ayuk is the better real wide receiver. Debo is a great gadget player. Although I believe Ayuk and Debo are both, yes, I believe they are both superstar receivers in the NFL, and I don't use that word lightly. But at the same time, taking a guy like Pearsall, it allows you to potentially give him time to develop to fill that void. Now, his development as a Shanahan wide receiver, we've seen how that can go sometimes. And For first round picks and second round picks, Shanahan does have a pretty good track record of developing skill position players. At the same time, they've had guys like Danny Gray and Bell, and yeah, Jennings hasn't really been a consistent impact player, although he is a great, dirty work wide receiver. Um, Ricky Pearsall is probably going to be a significant piece of this offense, and I don't know when. McCaffrey's not getting any younger. Kittle is very, very injury ridden and has a tendency to be injury prone throughout his career. So I don't really know what the timeline for Ricky Pearsall. Maybe they take him, and maybe 3 years he's their starting wide receiver. And I think if you can't get anything out of him in his first 2 years, then I'm kind of going to be questioning the pick, because the entire point of the draft is to get guys on great value and improve your team, with great contracts and being able to build around the absolute cheat code that is having Brock Purdy as your quarterback, making only, what is it, like, it can't be over $1 million at this point. But regardless, Ricky Pearsall is going to fit in great with the San Francisco 49ers. I have no doubt in my mind that he's going to be another superstar wide receiver in the NFL. So the only question is, who in the offense is the odd one out? Do they go pass heavy if something happens to McCaffrey? Do they, go more trips if something were to happen to Kittle? So I don't know. That's going to be, I don't really want to speculate, because I hope it never gets to that point. But at the same time, we do need to prepare. And this is John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan looking ahead. I was a little surprised that they didn't go with O-line or secondary with this pick, but you know what? They know a lot more than I do. I have no room to question them. While I can question Kyle Shanahan's in-game management, I have no question to question the roster he's built. And yeah, so that does it for me, and I'll see you guys next time.